Hi guys, today I'm doing a flip through of my completed art journal. So you guys have probably seen me, if you watch my channel, you've seen me working in this book in some process videos on my channel, and I showed a little bit in some little partial flip throughs before as well, but it's finally finished. So I've been working on this, I don't even remember when I started it, but I've been working on it for a while now. And it's finally done, so I'm going to do a flip through for you guys. So there's a few things I should say first. Number one, I made this art journal myself, so I made it from an old book and I put my own pages in here. It has 4 signatures, and then I just did some like texture paste and collaging on the cover, and I put these little eyelets on the back to add some elastic to hold it close. So the other thing I wanted to say was some of the pages I used in here were really porous papers. It was like a really cheap art paper that was like just really porous, soft, flimsy paper, and I mixed those papers with some scrapbook papers which have been covered over now, and maybe a few other little different types of papers. So the pages that were really soft, flimsy, porous papers, some of them haven't held up too well, and some of them actually started to like tear out a little bit because they just couldn't handle the wet mediums. So even though there's a few places in the book that I could probably still add more to and finish up, I have decided just to stop working in this now because it's starting to get really heavy, really chunky, and the pages, some of the pages aren't holding up too well. So I'm calling it done, even though some of the pages might not look 100% done. If you do want to make your own art journal, I do showing you the steps I took to make this book. So just remember that anything in that tutorial you can change. So if you want to do a different size book, you can. If you want to do a different type of paper, you can. If you want to do a different number of pages, you can. All that kind of stuff you can change out to suit you. Okay, so first page, I don't want to go into overly too much detail because I have done a little partial flip through of the first bit of my book, but basically this is some book paper. This is a library card pocket, and I just put my name and details on there in case it got lost. And then this is a page I did with some magazine clippings, some scrapbook papers, some washi tape and paint, and a little bit of pen. This page I have a process video up on my channel if you want to see how it came to this point, but it's got some stamping, texture paste, some journaling, more scrapbook papers and paint, and this is a little window that I created when I made the pages, so that's in the tutorial if you want to go check that out. On the back of that page I just did a drawing. I think I remember sitting down in front of the TV and just doing some drawings. So I did like some animals. There's a bunny, a bear and a bird, and then there's just this girl here kind of camouflaging into the background a little bit. There's some collage in the background of pattern instructions and some washi tape. This was an old artwork drawing painting that I did quite a while ago, which I just cut out and stuck down, and then onto here I just did some journaling. And then this is a page, just more painting, more stamps, more collaging, so you can see bits of magazines, and this is like Monopoly money, and then over here you can see that there's some dressmaker pattern tissue paper there collaged in. And then I just did this drawing of a hand, and I used this cool little glass effect medium for the nails and the ring, and then this is just a fold out there. So this page, these are not my original drawings. I've cut them out of a little old diary from like 2007. It was like a girlfriend magazine diary. And so I cut those out, and then there's a playing card, some washi tape, some paints. My pages stuck together. Yeah, there's some things out of magazines, scrapbook paper, little drawings, and just really random pieces just all collaged together. This is a place that I didn't ever get around to finishing or ever feel like finishing. So this is a page I did just mostly a bunch of collage. There's some paint in the background, there's some cutouts. These are cutouts from a colouring in book, and this is from a magazine. And then there's like some dies and some just lots of different scrapbook papers and stuff, just all collaged in a really random way all over the page. And then just a page I did some painting, a little bit of collage. There's a book page in the background, some scrapbook paper, a bit of journaling, and then this is from a magazine as well. And then just some pen lines all around. And then this page, I feel like I did a process video on this page, but I'm not sure. But it's just paint and texture paste, scrapbook ephemera and papers, and then like book pages and stuff like that. This is the first art journal that I ever did, so it was a big experiment for me. You can kind of see that throughout. I kind of have some kind of style happening. I think it's a bit random because it does change, but you can see that I like to collage a lot. That's something that's probably on every single page, or almost every single page. And I like to do drawings on separate bits of paper, like art paper, and then cut them out and stick them down. And I often colour in the background and not my actual focal points as well. So that's just things I've noticed about my own art style. But I'm not an artist by any means. So this is just an experiment, and it's purely for fun. So when I put up my process videos, some people are like, oh, I think you should have done that, and I think you shouldn't have done this, and that looked bad, or like, you know, in their own words, they're kind of critiquing it. And I think it's just important to remember that this art journal or art journaling is not always about being an artist. It's not always about creating beautiful art. Sometimes it's just about expressing yourself and doing art without thinking. It's intuitive art, so that's what it is about. So anyway, I did a process video on this page as well. It's just paint, and I did some sponging, and then there's some fabric, which feels really cool to touch. So there's some really cool textures on every page. Some texture paste. This is a photo of my kids, which has some journaling underneath it, doily, and washi tape. This was the first page I ever did in my art journal, so I don't start from front to back. I kind of just work my way through and choose a page that I want to work on. So this was the first page that I ever did. I did do a process video on this page as well, and I just used some book page images, did some drawings, did some journaling, and this is texture paste, the leaves all around the page. And yeah, so there's that page. This is another example of a drawing I've cut out of a different drawing book, and I've just stuck it onto a page. This is a napkin in the background, and I think there's some paint in the background as well. And then on this little page I've done kind of a scrapbooky looking page. It's got a picture of my husband and I at our wedding, and then I've just used some bits of ephemera, some scrapbook paper, doilies, and I've just done some little doodles around the page. This is another page that I did a process video on. I did my scrappy quilty technique here to make a baby blanket, and did a painting in the background of like the night sky, a drawing of a baby, and then this is a quote that I found on Pinterest, I believe, and I just copied it out because it was very cute. And I have reinforced some of the pages with different tapes and stuff like that to keep some of those flimsy papers in. This is another example of a page I could probably go back and do more of, but this was from a magazine. This is scrapbook paper, and then I've done some collaging with napkins and wrapping paper and stuff. That was out of a book. And then this was a drawing I did to test out some markers that I got, and then this is some fabric along the bottom, which gives you a really cool texture. This page is just a big collage again. Lots of scraps get used in here, so lots of paper scraps that I have pulled out of my scrap drawer. This is some, I think there's some book page, and then there's some more pattern tissue paper which I've collaged, and some paint in the background. And this was just a drawing, which again I painted the background and not the actual focal point. I think that actually comes down to my confidence with painting, because I'm not a very confident painter when I'm painting details, especially people, so I usually would rather paint the background and make them stand out that way than try and paint their features. So did that, and then this is a big fold out page. It opens up like this, and I do have a process video on this page as well. This is probably the chunkiest page in the entire book, and yeah, it's really bulky because I just kept adding and adding to it. But it opens up like that as well, and yeah, I just did painting, texture paste, collage with book page and drawings and quotes. Oh, and this was just a page in the background. I think I started drawing on it and then I painted over it, and then I've just collaged over it as well. This is from a magazine, and this is just paper scraps from my scrap drawer. This page, I also did a process video on it. I think it's one of my most viewed videos on YouTube. Probably got to be in the top 5, I think. And yeah, this was a really fun page to do. It's probably one of my favorites in the whole book. So it's just like a galaxy painting, and it was all about a quote that my 3-year-old said, which I included on the page. So there's that page. This page has a bunch of stuff happening as well, collage like always, and I've included some photos of my son, a little bit of journaling. This flips down, so let's see. Yeah, this flips down. This was a postcard that I was gifted, and then there's actually a pocket here as well with another photo. So that slides on there. And then up, this is a little window pocket. I think that I've got scrapbook paper in there, but nothing else is happening on the scrapbook paper yet. I think I intended to do something on it because the actual page is a pocket, so that tucks in there. And some vintage ephemera, more photos that come in and out, and that one doesn't come out. So yeah, this page I did as a video, chatty video, where I was kind of showing you some different ideas of how you could incorporate vintage ephemera. So this was vintage ephemera here. I think this was, and this was some ledger paper, and then I've also used some fabric scraps that were my son's when he was a baby. So I did that. And this flips out as well. So lots of scrapbook paper, stamping, painting, same kind of thing. And then I also did a process video on this page. This was some vintage ephemera as well. So that folds down, and then I've got some texture paste. There's vintage wrapping paper in the background, lots of scraps of paper from my scrap drawer, some stamping, a quote, and some pen lines and more ephemera. So yeah, I do have a process video on this page on my channel. This is another collagey page, so just really random bits of paper from my scrap drawer again. There's just some staples all over the page. There's some magazine cutouts as well, and then this opens out, so it just opens out like that and holds closed with a paper clip. And I think both of these pages I could probably do more on if I wanted to, but like I said, I am finishing in here, so even if some of the pages don't look complete, I'm fine with that. So this page is another big collage page. This is a fabric doily. This is out of a colouring in book. This is from a magazine, a children's book, and then I think over the top I put a big layer of dressmaker pattern, and then I've done some drawings over the top, just some little lines. This piece here is actually the negative of a sticker sheet, so once I'd used all the stickers off of that sheet, instead of just throwing away that negative, I just peeled it off and stuck it down onto my page, and I think it's really cool. It's got a really cool texture to it as well. This is another page that I've done a process video on my channel, so if you want to go and have a look, I did lots of vintage tones. There is some butterfly stamps all over the page, and then this is a pocket here. I don't know if I did some writing in there, just a quote, and then there's also this tag here which just hangs over the page with another quote. And yeah, did some bubble wrap stamping, lots of collage with scrapbook papers, and some distress stains, I think. This is a page I just did over the weekend, my most recent full spread. So this was a page I did, it's like kind of got a zoo theme to it, and I just did a big collage with scrapbook papers again. So collage with scrapbook papers. This was a window pocket which I stuck this image on the back. So this picture of the zoo. I drew a picture of a giraffe and an elephant, and I coloured them in with watercolour pencils and painted them and cut them out and stuck them down over the page. And then yeah, just a bunch of random stuff. So lots of paper scraps. There's some stenciling with black paint and some pen work and some stickers, even some flowers over here which I just stapled on. And yeah, so it's that page. This is another page I did last week, so this is another recent page that I did. I had a couple of blank pages randomly through the book which I really wanted to get finished up before we move. So this is a page which I was inspired to do because I saw a video by Rita Donnelly on her channel where she did a paper doll junk journal, and it was so cute, and she had these little I think they were tags that she had, but they were little wardrobe fold outs. I think she said she got them from Hobby Lobby, but obviously in Australia we don't have a Hobby Lobby, so I decided to try and make my own, and I just did it with scrapbook paper. And then this image is out of a magazine, so really cute. I love yellow jackets, so I stuck that in there. I just really love to have that interaction in my art journals. I think on almost every single page there's something you can interact with, which means like open out or tuck something in, or yeah, so I really like to have that interaction with all of my journals. This page I just cut out this image and then I went ahead and drew some grass all around it. Really simple to do, really fun to do. I did it when I was sitting in front of the TV, so something that didn't require many materials to do. And then this is a page where I just did some drawing directly on top of. This is the paper I was talking about that was really thin and like porous and flimsy, so obviously I've layered onto the back of it, which has given it some strength, but you can see that I've had to tape it down the middle and add some papers over the crease down the middle to try and make sure it's not going to fall out. But I've just done some collage. This is wallpaper, this is scrapbook paper, this is from a colouring in book, and then there's just stuff from my stash, so just like little die cuts. And yeah, again I've done a drawing and then I've coloured in the background and not the actual drawing. I stopped filming my art journal process videos so much because it became a little bit hard to film an entire process from start to finish, just because of the way that I like to do it is not always from start to finish in one big go, so that's why the process videos kind of stopped. But yeah, so there's that page. There's another collage-y page, just lots of scrapbook papers and a little bit of pen drawings and stuff. Nothing too fancy. This is a page that looks really unfinished, but I've just done some drawing and some painting, some more collage, and this is from a magazine. This page also looks really unfinished. I think towards the back I had some pages that were kind of half done, and I just decided that it was time to stop. So this is one of the pages that probably should have had more done to it, but lots of collage, some painting, bits and pieces from my stash, so like die cuts, and yeah, so scrapbook paper. Pretty simple kind of unfinished page. And another page I would definitely say is unfinished. So this page only has journaling on it. It would have been, I mean, I could still go back and add something over the top of it if I wanted to, but there's just a magazine picture on this side and just more collage. This is decoupage from a napkin in the background, some flowers. Yeah, another unfinished page. And then there's this page, just lots of paint, lots of collage again, little bits and pieces, playing card and some ledger paper in the background, some writing, some scribbles all over it. This is vintage wrapping paper, and then there's some washi tape in the background and a picture of my son. So yeah, just a big mess of stuff. And then the very back page is another page that I didn't really finish. It was just some book paper, some scrapbook paper, and from a colouring book. So yeah, so that is my finished or almost finished art journal. I really enjoyed doing this, and I'm so happy that I finished it because I feel like I've been working it for ages, but I've really enjoyed it. I learnt some things both about how to make this next time. I'll definitely use a different brand of paper, and I probably would do less pages as well because of how squashed everything has become. But yeah, so I've learnt a bit about making the book. I've also kind of learnt a bit about my own process. I've been able to experiment a lot in here with different mediums and just basically make a mess and not worry about anything except for just playing. So it's been really fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing my finished art journal flip through. I probably am going to start another one because I really did love working in here, and if I make another one I'll be sure to share a flip through of it as well on my channel. So I hope you guys are all having a really great day, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye!